Chapter 14. Adrift, the westward wind. Under a smoke spire adrift the westward wind, having slipped the hangman's noose. Gregor and Noshkree drug stonework down Red Mesa's western wall. Prematurely roused from regenerative petrifaction by Gestalt, packed his cracks with water and clay, solidified by Noshkree's transmutes. While skin grafts burrowed through settling sediment, Noshkree plied scissors, tongs, and surgical forceps to pinch debris throughout Gregor's back and shoulder, before bandaging him over with blue jay-soaked cotton. Feather set aside for the treatment, the alchemics sanitized, and a swig soothed a seared throat. While he'd never known fragmentation without infection, the worst should be abated. Fixed up to travel readiness, they put distance between themselves and the mesa to avoid search and rescue. Spells of smoke blotted out the star mid-sky, and hot ash kindled brush fires across dry stretches, clear-cut by recent Nesher infestation. Fields of teethed grass, Nesher burn, grew from hungering hordes' refuse, among copses gnawed to their bones and fat with fungi. Carnivorous pests, the Nesher burn a sure signal that the Neshers themselves were long gone. Or Wraith had said when they'd scouted their exit through these foothills prior. How peculiar, this hungry grass born beneath the grey, unique to the Rutland, flourishing in the wake of creatures as multi-continental as mankind herself. What other novels had the Shroud cultivated? Gregor supposed the Neshers novel too, themselves not found in Velka. Tamarinthy gale winds blocked westward crossings over the Trans-Arak land bridge, implying they'd made that trek sometime in prehistory. Rukanian Justicar monster hunters cleared up any southern encroachments to protect supply depots during the Revolution, but it wasn't until the Millenstadt moved in that they were driven out altogether. That rare success spoke to the scale of that conflict, for there wasn't a place elsewhere in Uris, or even the whole Meridian, where Neshers didn't pass through during their centennial cycle. The Millenstadt classified the creatures as blight, stunting the growth of civilizations beyond the safety of high walls and dense urban centers. Gregor hadn't recognized the lifestyle of the Twish and their neighbors at face value until considering the toothy hillsides. Nearness to the Reims River, their Tyrnas, adherence to high places, and regular upheavals in the warm seasons, hadn't always been the fisherman's way. He'd wondered where the remnants of old Rukanian holds had gone. Now an answer stood before him. The star forts and cherishes had succumbed, dissolved in the eaters' four stomachs. Yet the endless ruins, such as the Agla, remained. A fascinating subject of study for future anthropologists, biologists, and parishioner missionaries to indulge, if the savant could be stayed, and this horticultures of men and monsters preserved. Trust your kings, or trust your Neshers. I admit the Neshers will eat you up quicker. Kate had said, so very long ago. Today he'd trust the Neshers, for although the grass teethed against his boots, the Neshers had a taste for knot rocks, and anywhere the Neshers pissed, he could be sure it was safe to walk. Amid a midnight rendezvous at a predetermined fallback point, a tattered convoy convened under a stone arch, coated with dead moss bleached by strange sunlight. Greeted first by a watcher sentry, shiny feathers dinged by the color of blood, they stumbled into the midst of 9 horses and 3 wagons for no more than 30 people. Families damaged by the initial destruction of Twind again laid low and broken. Those who remained, bonded by loss, were the indiscriminate survivors of a thorough culling that privileged the healthy, young, and foreign. The Rutlanders hemorrhaged cultural identity. No families held all their pieces, the warriors countable on one hand, their leadership decimated. Could the malleability of their social structures survive in so small a few? The huddled and harrowed suffered through silence so thick the brook of a once great river churned in the between. Velk, the last prophet, described the aftermath of battle. Stormlord Thrun's quenched work, hardened alloy deprived the joy of a candelabra or chandelier, beauty stolen, given mandate against peace or serenity. Here we are. A stormfront's hangover discouraged crack Millenstadt's shock troops, disoriented incanted Avane phalanxes. Unlike sages soldiering on addled thoughts, the uninitiated must bear the brunt into perpetual civility. The fallen's reckoning. A woman he'd never met threw herself at his feet. A child wrapped and nestled in a basket woven with turquoise thread. checkered by mother of pearl and precious stones. "Eshi, save me, little boy," she cried. O breathless child, morphine-free, the sting of phantom shards down deep, a pale picture of a mother's hurt. She clasped his boot, bearing a crux in prayer. Gregor knelt to help, to hide. What would Kate say, had she seen him so shy the spotlight? After all this time, still never learned to take an honour at its value, nor a compliment on the chin. He seized the basket from Boda as she lifted from his path. Gestalt fell, bashed upon the stone, stripped upon the pyre. To the mother he offered the breadth, a vessel fit for an immeasurable soul. I am sorry I could not save him. I am sorry I could not save more. All I can say is there's more to be preserved, but it's not right.
Eshi,
Reyth called. She zipped a rope down from the rock arch, catching Raspberry on the rebound.
Ya's alive. I cannot believe me tricky eyes.
Dubious murmurs muddied Gregor's intent to honour the mother. She'd not meant to undermine him. She may have doffed Sophie's bloodied blouse for looser fit brown and black triarch road wear, but the change of clothes only accentuated Reyth's shapely otherness. Boda backed away from Reyth to Tai, who leaned upon his rifle beside Arik and his daughter Mira, who Arik sent to aid the bereaved. "You did well," Gregor said to Reyth, motioning Noshkri bring up the salvaged supplies.
There's something I must tell ya,
Reyth said.
I saw something in me dreams.
Not now, Gregor answered. Relieved of the woven casket, the weight remained. He had failed. He could not allow himself to look away, nor forget the nameless dead. What was his name? Gregor asked, despite Reyth. Atepo, Mira answered on the stranger's behalf. Go with God, Atepo, Gregor said. Frustrated words, all he could offer, he turned to the others hanging off him to incite action. Raise yourselves and be ready, he said, to shun their gratitude, their need and sorrow. Mere impediments now. We leave before Uyu's rise. Give 'em a moment for bluff's sake, said O, chewing a gum of clay and molar. By dawn these hills burn, Gregor objected. Everyone here demonstrated their valour. We march a day more.
If and ye say, but without the others,
Reyth asked. This is everyone, Foxy. O muttered, dour as he offered a canteen to Mira, so she may wash the shattered mother's hides, stained silt black.
Everything? Everyone?
Like O smacked her silly, Reyth lost her colour, the faint look in her eyes gone when the watcher flinched. As did the others. Seems they'd all held out hope one way or another. The watcher rended Reyth's human hide.
What of the seamstress Summel, that boat Makatoth, orator Momo?
We're it, Gregor said, and beheld the great serpent Guilt, the trickster fox Shame, two of Thrune's ugliest crafts.
Nah,
Reyth wailed against the Stormlord's wind.
What's we supposed to protect? What's left?
Yes, Ishi, said Arik, risen by Ty's good arm, too clutched by death's jagged patterned blanket. He shivered in the warm night. What are we to do? Where do we go? When nothing is left to protect, Gregor said, is when you must rebuild. We go west. Curry those belly butterflies, put them to work. For as many who made it here, Reyth saved my life, at great peril to herself.
And the green-eyed devil?
Reyth asked, reaching for a reason. He fled, Gregor answered, keeping kindle from the candle.
Fled?
She cried out.
Again?
Rey, now is nor the time for more anger, Arik said, touching her back.
If'n this is not that time, then it never is, uncle.
She ground nails against teeth, pulling away.
Tell me the truth, Eshi.
Greg saved your life, O grunted. All our lives. You need more, lass? It's tip-top, fellas, Gregor said, as Noshkri dispersed the contents of a rolled-up rug like a merchant's display. Evil cannot be destroyed by weaponry or a command. It is intrinsic throughout all.
Ya sniffer.
Reyth stomped, unable to control herself.
Did you not see how many peoples he killed? I saw him in me dreams. He'd have killed you back.
Should have seen him, Foxy. O returned once Mira walked the weeping woman away. He knocked Gregor hard enough on the hip to spark the backbone and tug him from sorrow's fall. I saved his skinny arse and smoked one morny. O's boast of well-earned valour dredged up Reyth's own askew sense of the virtue.
How can you be such a great warrior and such a coward?
Reyth asked, and scuffed Gregor's boot underfoot. Allow me some pride, eh? Stretching away grouchy bones, Gregor lifted a walnut rifle from the unfurled rug. I believe this trophy yours. A good rifle, better than some lineman's heartland. A prize fit for one who has killed with the blessing of great Gestalt. Learn it well.
You think this gift enough for letting him slip?
Reyth said. If you wish to hunt, seize your means. Gregor put the rifle upon her along with a firm warning. This can be your shield or sword, but beware, draw your sword far from here, lest it cut those you wish to shield. When first he'd balked from arms as these, during fire drills in the Stassenbull garrison yard, he'd have been bettered, knowing this lesson learned too late.
Always lecturing.
Reyth's irritation didn't stay the rifle's fit.
I thought we'd not time for words.
Gregor agreed, gesturing her off. With this gift and blessing, he sought to disperse aspersions flowering in the garden of the Twish. The actions of Gestalt ill understood, the fish's murder lurked in side-eyed glances of those who'd have been like family to Reyth. In all, except Arik, who despite a recent conversion seemed to sit well with newfound power. Gestalt is cruel, Gestalt is just, Gestalt is great, truly the preserver's kin. And I think this is yours. Gregor tossed skulking Sophie her camera. Reyth threw a question back over her shoulder.
Did you get the pictures too? You faced me when I woke. Had that old one's words burned on her cheek?
I'm afraid not one made it back, Gregor said, and Schneider flinched.
It was a wonder.
Reyth said. They were all a wonder, Schneider exclaimed. Which picture? Sophie asked.
One of you through the scope.
Reyth said.
When I woke from me dream, it had changed.
And now it is lost, Gregor said. It cannot be helped. We need to prep and go. Schneider, what's our current state? Shot and shod, Schneider said. We've water, meals to go, but we're low on Blue Jay and medicine. There are injured who won't survive if moved. Inform their loved ones. They can stay behind if they wish, but we can't wait. What happened to the Blue Jay? Gregor wore his shoulder stained blue with aubrieux. What didn't go with the fish's tent we gave out for smoke inhalation? Nasty business. Schneider cleared his throat. There's only a few without burns of concern. Several took bullets and more flung themselves from the flat when you gave your command. Saved their lives, but they're in bad shape. There's not enough room in the wagons. Make room, Gregor snapped. Dump your stocks. I'm sorry, Sir Ben. We risked our lives to get those wagons off that hill. I'm not about to... An adjustment of Gestalt from under one arm to the other made Schneider reconsider. Of course, Noshkri can forage agave for a restock.
Me Tam taught me an Everin about bombs after a wildfire jumped Turnus.
Reyth said. Though brooding under blooded eyes, she set her heart right.
I know the herbs to make a soothing mush.
Very good, Gregor said. Noshkri, disregard Schneider's agave scheme and lend a claw to Reyth instead. You cannot order me around, Noshkri answered. You've no power over me or gold to give. Just do what Sir Ben asks, Schneider said. We'll more than pull back from the red once we're back on the path to green. No, Gregor said. Don't count your chichis before they hatch. We're to head west, to the border, and find them asylum. The Cherish of the Toll in Aden will receive them. Oh, Schneider, it's time to return to Wienweld. It's too dangerous. With all due respect, Sir Ben, Schneider said, reaching out to lower the angle of Gestalt like it were a barrel against his head. We're staying, as seems your intention too. Aye. Oh, spat a tooth gummed up with clay. Without me, you'd be dead. We knew the dangers, but now we know the reward. There's mithrite in these here hills, all right. Why else the savant at all? I'm going to be rich as a sorcerer king and half as tall. I'd go back, Sir Ben, said Sophie, lingering while Reyth and Noshkri went. Not in the 1,000 steps, young lady. Schneider waggled a finger and stole back the camera. You're responsible for those lost photographs. If you do, you'll not see a single royal from this expedition, and I can guarantee you'll be hearing from my attorneys. So get clicking, kitten. You got bills to pay.